Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to this new edition of the morning briefing. Let's get started right away. So, let's do a recap of what we witnessed yesterday. In short, we've also made a spot in the chat. In short, to emphasize this aspect, about the market. So, how is the market moving recently? In short, we are in a binary trading operation, essentially. In short, the moments are always very directional, very strong, and then, completely reverse the difference. So, as we saw yesterday, the morning was all about the downturn. Nice, substantial solid, which seemed to, give further lows, but then, it took off. It went back up, which brought prices back to the high and then down again. So, this is understood. Like a operational or binary trading. Today is Friday. There is no relevant macro data coming. There are all the uncertainties regarding the weekend too, so I recommend maximum caution. Today, preserve your financial capital and especially your psychological capital. Let's look at things from a technical perspective. At the moment, it's 9:30 in Italy, so European markets are open. About half an hour ago, there was an immediate downward push that caused the price to break through the BC3 levels that were recorded. This is the opening level from yesterday, so we are below these levels. The BC3 below the HV level seems to, to do a test, probably DSD, one that corresponds to the area of the lows recorded, about this double bottom. We can basically say that it was recorded yesterday, so this will probably be a definite area of support. In short, initially, we'll see if, they'll have the strength to break this level. In short, to be able to even go and test SD2, which represents the minimum recorded. Beginning of the week, on Tuesday exactly, we'll see. In short, the developments could even slow down and stay within this range, which seems to be quite well defined. Let's say we have this first level, between SD1 and SD2. It's the buying area for this range, so it's the area to watch on the upside. Obviously, we have this area here between RD2 and the VIX area to monitor, a break of this. RD2 level could definitely trigger a more significant movement in the system. It could also, since it's Friday and there are no significant macro data, it might just stay within this range. So we'll see. Our perspective should always be to operate based on what we have in front of us. Okay, I've given this overview for the Nasdaq. I repeat, there's basically nothing to add compared to what we've already discussed in the past few days. So we are waiting in a climate of uncertainty, so we have to navigate by sight. Let's also keep an eye on S, of course. Some more. Similar situation just below the BC3 levels, testing the double bottom recorded yesterday in this area. Here. So that then represents this double bottom. It represents, the upper area of this range that was created since Tuesday, which led to this recovery. So it could also be, the same thing for them. So in this upward range, 70 remains the level to break for 1058, 1058, and 30. Downward, obviously, and 60, as we already indicated yesterday, and 50 and 60 for me represents. So the crucial level, just like for SPX, it will be, 10 and 15. So I consider that. So a crucial level that has broken, definitely leads to further bearish pressure. So keep a close eye on these levels. Okay, let's move on to the other indices. Let's start with the Dow Jones, that is the other futures we follow. Let's go to the indices, for well done. The simplicity, maybe for the Italian. In short, okay. Let's take a quick look then. Also here yesterday, the double bottom. Same behavior, even though there was a breakdown going down. Right now, it's really testing these levels. Here, the level to watch a bit lower, I would say between 41 and 42,000. In short, it is definitely one. It will definitely be a strong defense area from the buyers. Upward. Obviously, here we have the RD2 area, which could start the work. So more ambitious goals. We'll see. Here, we are working on the BRC3 level from yesterday. So this line will overlap a bit. You can't see it very clearly, with the BRC3 level that we're currently working on. Yes, well, the situation is a bit on standby at the moment, waiting for developments. In short, all of these situations show that there has been a bit of uncertainty. The Russell, seems to have let go of what seems to have loosened its moorings. So there was a nice push yesterday, highlighted, and then this morning it started breaking. And even though, it's working below the BC3 levels, almost at the SD2 level, well, it's not looking good for my hopes. For now, we'll see if they have the desire and the strength to react at the moment, so always caution. Well, the canary in the coal mine is telling us that things aren't looking too good for the American economy, at least as interpreted by the Russell. We'll see, I repeat. For now, the level to monitor is clearly this SD2, because it represents all these lows. Rejected, so from below when it acts as resistance, and then also from above when it acts as support. So it's definitely a level to keep an eye on. Let's take a look at the DAX, as I mentioned yesterday. So we've moved to the June contract, which is now the front contract. So today I provided the string for the contract. Continuing. So starting Monday, we'll switch back to the rolled NQ1. I think it's up 253 points, as I mentioned yesterday morning. At the moment, the situation, has started. So the opening, there was a little push upwards, in an attempt to recover the lows recorded yesterday. But then, they've already broken through them and are working below these lows. I was saying for the DAX, that scenario we've mentioned several times is starting to become apparent. Once it materialized, the wait for the vote that had pushed the entire market up. It was the classic buy the rumors, sell the news. So, pay close attention. It's letting go of the moorings, 823. So, thank you. We need to go much lower. Right now, I don't have a chart ready. Maybe, I'll try to post it later in the chat. So pay close attention for those trading, obviously, the German index. Let's take a look, of course, at oil, which reacted well yesterday. So it has moved to the upper part of the range that we've pointed out several times. Now we are really working upwards at these levels. Here you can see how well it has maintained the red D1, which corresponds, to this whole area that we've pointed out several times, starting from the bottom. So yesterday, it made the minimum here. At the opening, right at the levels, that were more or less. These, indicated from the minimum of this ring that we're following, are pushing prices up again. From here, there could be a new bearish push, precisely because there's a lot of uncertainty. So, obviously, everything is in a delicate balance. So maximum attention is required. Here, too, there are no news from Massimo that should influence the future, except for any news that might come in. Actually, a glass of announcements. God on Daz, things like that. Let's also take a look at gold, which of course pulled back slightly more than a little yesterday. As we can observe this movement here, but it's consistently staying above $3,000 per ounce, since Tuesday. This, supports the continuation of the trend. We've drawn that bullish wave, which should, conclude around 31.80. In short, starting from a long-term chart. We'll see, if it will actually happen, of course. In short, it's not guaranteed that it will happen, though. So the trend is still clear on the future. It continues to push upwards, even though, in the last 2 days. So it's kind of moving sideways. But basically, I believe to consolidate the price at these levels and then possibly look for a new upward push. We'll see. As always, we're keeping an eye on all these scenarios, because obviously a de-escalation of the political situation and an improvement in economic conditions, they could definitely bring the price down. We'll see. As usual. We're navigating by sight. Let's also take a look at the SPX that I mentioned earlier. So with this chart is still there. We've recovered from the middle part of this long-term channel. We're right up against the area of the first target that was set for this drop, which is currently acting from as resistance having been broken. Obviously, this is the area to keep an eye on because, as I said before, the break of this level here, of this area here, would lead, if you want, probably to a price much lower. So maximum attention 5,610, 5,615. I believe this is the area, well, to be monitored closely. Then on a 4-hour chart, this level, we can circle it. Here it is. So I would keep an eye on this level here because, 5, 6, 5, 6, 10, 5, 6. So it's the area you'll be monitoring. A break of this level could easily bring prices first, above all, to testing the previous lows around 5.5. But we're practically just a stone's throw away. So for more ambitious targets that then correspond to levels of volume. So I'm going to point out something about Patria that I'm going to extract, and then we'll see. In short, I repeat, the level to monitor is this one. Then on the Fioca, it corresponds to 56.60, 56.70. That's the area to monitor. With this, we've reached the end of this morning briefing. Of course, I invite you, as always, to like the video, to follow me on social media, Patria X, YouTube, of course on Discord. Thank you all for your attention, and we'll catch up later in the chat.